To start off, my name is Jacqueline Young. I am the Marketing Director here at eSafety, and I will be acting as moderator today. Our Technology Director, Jen Amelender, is here with us as well to walk through the major areas and changes of the site and what you can expect, as well as a little background as to why these changes are important and truly benefit you and your training objectives through eSafety. So now we're always looking for ways to continually improve the site. So we're going to look at ways to make the system better with security, speed, overall user experience. So those things are always going on in the background. But today we really wanted to focus on the features and functionality of the system we know you have been waiting to see. So Jen, thank you for being our tour guide today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Sure. First off, I am so excited to be sharing what we've been working on behind the scenes with everybody. And we know that the first question we're going to get is, when is it coming? When is it going to be released? So please know that as soon as we have the date available, the official date, we will be providing that to you. It will be over this summer. Right? So it's coming this summer, and we will do the release on a weekend. So hopefully that minimizes the impact for your organization. So, and again, I just want to reiterate that any Q&A that you want to submit during the webinar, we will be answering questions, and we do want to make sure we get all those questions and answers back to everybody. So you'll get a transcript of that as well with all of our answers on it.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. So just a quick look at our agenda for today. We want to go over the login page and the password update that is coming with V4. So this is all the things that your users will see. We're going to get into then the user dashboard, the admin dashboard, as well as our schedules area and reports area. So we're really hitting on all the big ticket items that you need to be able to have to say, okay, how are my users trading? How do I schedule them? How do I run reports? So we're going to go into those big areas today. And I believe, Jen, I'm going to have you take the screen. Let's take it away.
Wonderful. Well, so we're going to start at the login page here. And hopefully you guys have noticed that the current system, we did update the login page to look a little bit more like this one. And we did that so that hopefully your users kind of get familiar with that new look and feel ahead of time. And so that over one weekend, we're not just changing everything on them. So we did update the login page ahead of time. I'm going to go ahead and log in. I am logging in as an administrator, and then we're going to jump directly into what your users see. So you're noticing I'm coming into an administrative dashboard, but we're going to go ahead and jump into our user dashboard. So yes, as an admin, you will have two very separate areas, one for your user side and one for your administrative side. And we're trying to draw that line in the sand for you. So again, what are my users going to see? Huge question, number one question we're seeing right now. And so we want to give you a look at that. One thing that will happen at launch and one change for eSafety is that we do need to require a password that is at least 8 characters long. We know that that's going to be a change for a lot of our clients and our current users. So you are welcome to update that password now. We will be sending out a communication later this week that goes over it, as well as some information for your users that you can share with them. So they can definitely change their password in the current system to meet that specification, and they will not need to change it on login the first time they log into the new V4. If they do not change it ahead of time, we will request that they do that upon their first login. So just kind of wanted to get that out of the way. Like I said, Jacqueline will be sending out a communication here later this week that helps give you the information that you're going to need for that. So I'm going to go ahead and start here on our end user dashboard. Login screen, they will jump right to this area. They will not have the two options. End users will just drop right into their dashboard. And we're hoping that it's fairly familiar. We're going to go ahead and give them their top to-dos right away. Any information that you need to set in an alert, we can go ahead and alert people to that. And then we've got our top to-dos. One of the major questions we get from a lot of clients still is, why do my people people only see 5 things on their dashboard. They don't know that they have more to take. So we went ahead and gave indication that there are more things to do here on the dashboard. So just trying to give a little bit more information to your end users, but we still want them to be able to get in, take their training, see what they need to do, and then move on with their day. So this user has a few things plus a couple extras that they need to take care of. You'll notice that we're going to go ahead and give them some time estimates of what that course is going to take, but they'll still see the due date and they can just click to start right here on the dashboard. We're also hoping to keep things pretty familiar for them. So they're going to have their dashboard. They have a training library, which is an area that lists out all the available training to them, as well as their records area. These are things that they have in the current system. We also have a little bit of another sneak peek here. We are offering some new things with V4. This right here is just an end user view at some expiration tracking that we have. We'll go over that a little bit further in the next webinar. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and sign up for next week's webinar. We're going to go into depth on some of the newer features. But one thing I do want to quick talk about is the user profile. And that did change a little bit, and that is going to be tucked up here in their user information area. And so they can go to their profile. They can still manage the same things that they can manage in the current system for eSafety. They can change their password here. We just kind of want to call out that we're tucking all of that user information up in their main drop down up on the top menu. So that is pretty much it for our users.
Awesome. So Jen, just to kind of recap then for this specific area, what I'm seeing is the user experience is better, but functionally it is the same. So when you're looking at logging in, taking training, none of that has changed. Your users are going to be able to come in and know what they need to do, which is exactly what we want for you. We want to keep eSafety as easy to use as possible for your employees. So Jen, now that we know what our users are doing, that they're all set, show us a little bit about our admin dashboard.
Yes, so we're going to go ahead and drop into our eSafety training administrative dashboard now. So as an admin, this is the information we want you to see at a quick glance. You'll notice that this is quite a bit different than what you experience in the current system. So just going to kind of step back and give you an overall tour of what we have going on here. One of the things you will notice is that instead of a side menu, you now have a top menu. So we just kind of moved that along the top. There is a little bit of a change. So you're going to remember we got levels. We have users. Courses is now content. And again, the reason for that name shift is because we're going to give you more than just courses to manage within eSafety moving forward. So we did want to have a bit of more broad name for that, but that's where your course list is. You'll notice schedules has its own area, and then we have reports and communication. And so should seem very familiar to you. We're just changing its location. But let's go ahead and talk about the dashboard. So completion overview. This is probably the most requested item. Right here, we are going to see at a glance, how am I doing year to date, right? So for my test site here, I've got 65% complete year to date for anything that's required through May 21. I've got 16 of my users are completely up to date. So I can see that I got 9 with past due requirements and need attention. And I have nobody without training, which is kind of a fun little statistic to have. You'll notice that we've got expiring and expired and expiring soon. Again, those are going to come with that expiration tracking that you're going to see in next week's webinar. But we do want to make sure that we draw things to your attention that you need to see, right? We're hoping to give you the information right on your dashboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click this, and this is going to run right to my completion status report and run it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and see my numbers. I can run this by user right off the bat. We'll get to reports in just a second. So I am going to navigate back to the dashboard, but I do want to just kind of show you how quick it is to get the information you need at your fingertips. We're also going to provide usage statistics, how many tests have been taken this year, active users, how many logins for the month, the year, and then the past 7 days. And then kind of a fun addition is the schedule calendar on your sidebar. And what this is doing is just giving you a visual indication that you have schedules this month. I can click on a day that has a dot, and it's going to tell me I've got 3 courses scheduled to be due on a particular date. And then we can go right to the scheduling list by clicking go to list. I'll kind of show you what this looks like. And it's going to take you directly to your scheduling list, and you can see the 3 courses that were highlighted for you. So it is really kind of fun to be providing our clients with items that they have been requesting and asking for. And the goal of it all is to make your jobs easier. And so we hope that you enjoy some of these features that are coming to your dashboard.
And thank you all for your reactions. It's so great to see that we've been working on this for a long time. So knowing that these are the things that you want and you can really see how much hard work has gone into this is wonderful for us as well. But before we move on, what I love about this area, and Jen, I'm sure you can attest to this as well, is the fact that this new dashboard, it's so easy to see exactly how you're doing, what needs your attention, and the fact that you can click one button and get that completion report is just awesome. So I think it's everything we've heard from our admins and what they want in a dashboard, and so we're really excited to bring it to you. All right, so with that, Jen, why don't you take us on through to schedules area and give us a little background on what the changes are here.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump right into the schedules. And one of the things that kind of brought about giving schedules its own area is one, we want to be able to give you more items that you can track in eSafety. And this helps us do that. That's one reason for the change. And the other reason is you previously or in the current system, you have to go to a level, a course, or a user in order to schedule. And we found that, you know what, maybe we can do this better, right? And so what we did is we gave it a centralized scheduling list. And from this list, you can see all of your schedules within eSafety. Now, you can still schedule in a level, in the user profile, and in a course itself. We're not taking that away. We did just want to add one more way to look at this. And so again, you're going to find a little bit of change in the look and feel to it, but this list is going to be very similar. It's going to give you the course or the item that is scheduled, who it's for. This is for a user. This is a viewable schedule, and you can see the date sitting around it. So again, we've got a site-specific training due on May 31st for myself. Max Gill is who is unlogged into the system. You can see the start and end showing dates, just like what you're used to in your current schedule, as well as its repeat frequency. So the idea behind scheduling has not changed. All of your schedules will seamlessly come over into the updated system, and they will display like this. And so I do want to go over some of the changes to this area though. So you have a schedule summary now, which is going to kind of break down how your schedules are applied to your user. So here I can say I have 12 level schedules. 6 of those are to my entire company and 6 of those are to departments. And I can see that I have 16 user schedules. So just kind of giving you some high level information. Bundle summary, you can see I don't have any bundle schedules at the moment. However, that's another fun little feature that we're going to go over next week. The idea of bundling content together for the ease of scheduling and looking at it. And that would display here. And then again, we have that same calendar. So if you want, hey, what do I have going on this date? I don't remember. We could easily click and it will pre-filter your list for you for those items, which is really fun. You can search schedules a little bit easier. We can filter them easier, and we have some bulk actions that you can do just like you're used to right now in the current system. So we are really excited about giving you this centralized list. Now, I also want to go ahead and show you how to add a schedule and how that's changed just a little bit. So you're noticing that you don't have 2 things going on one page like you're used to. Currently in V3, you can add and view all in one area. So to add to our schedules, we're just going to go ahead and click Add Schedule. And you'll notice that this is fairly similar. I can go ahead and I have my 3 buttons that we have currently, but we're going to walk you through how we want you to add the schedule. So first we're going to pick who we're scheduling for. So I could choose to schedule for my entire company, or I could choose to come and schedule for multiple departments. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and schedule for 3 departments, but you'll notice I have user tags. I could always schedule or help filter my list a little easier. I can also search in this list. I know a lot of people have very long lists of courses or users or even departments, and it can be hard to scroll through them. So we are giving you the ability to search these lists. And then I'm going to move on and I'm going to continue. And this form is just going to walk me right through all the things I need to do. It tells me I have 3 departments selected. And then let's go ahead and schedule, let's schedule accident investigation, and let's schedule arc flash safety. And you'll notice I can now select more than a single course. So one thing that we don't have in our current system is the ability to schedule many departments or many levels or many users to many courses. And so we're going to go ahead and give you that ability. We're going to keep moving on, and this should look pretty familiar. What are the settings? We're going to go ahead and pick a start showing. We're going to pick a due date for this. I'll pick the 12th of June, and we're going to go ahead and pick an end showing date and a frequency. All things that you're currently selecting when you're creating a schedule. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and those 6 schedules were created and added to my list.
Is that it? We've tried to make it so simple and really streamline the process. And I hope that's how all of our admins feel about it too. Because what we did is we focused in on the way that our admins schedule and what we have found to be the best way to schedule. So it's that who needs to take what when. And again, we're able to get it to you all in one area, one form. So I think this is just going to, again, be one more step towards being able to schedule just a little bit easier. One thing I do want to point out, again, first time coming into the new V4 system, you're going to see a lot of the same things. You're going to see add schedule button, add a user button. All of those things are still going to be very similar to you. So even though it might feel a little different, we're still going to give you those cues of, yep, this is the same system, same process. You're where you're supposed to be. You know what to do. You guys have this. So I love seeing that schedule summary box. The bundle summary, again, if you're not using something new yet, that's okay. We're going to make sure it's there for you, but you don't have to implement something until you need to, until you're ready for it. So I love seeing that as well. Jen, I think we're at a good place to keep going here. Do you want to take us over into reports? And I love it. This was a really fun one for me because what I noticed is that we had 3 very different features that we're bringing together under one roof. So they're all reporting options. They're all really great tools that we see people use. However, they weren't ever joined. So we've got our reports, our templates that you use to run a report. We've got your saved favorites. So people would create a favorite so they could run it again. And then you have your auto reports. But none of them really work together. So currently being separate, independent, Jen, show us what it looks like when we actually combine these into one area.
Yes, so that is an awesome intro into reports because it's exactly what we've decided to do. We are bringing all of your reporting and the features that you currently have available to you, and we're bringing them under one area. So what we're going to go ahead and start with is the templates. And templates, the first thing you guys are noticing is there's a little bit of a name change on here. We're taking that general compliance report as it is named in the current system, and we're simply changing the name of it to completion status. So the report is remaining the same. Your information will come out how you're used to running it. We're just giving it a little bit of a name change. And we're calling our report list the report templates. So these are the same 14 reports that you are used to seeing when you click on view all reports when you are in the current eSafety. We wanted to keep that very familiar for you right off the bat, give you that familiarity. And then from here, what we're going to do is we can run into saved reports. And Jacqueline had mentioned the favorites. And currently, when you are in your general compliance report, you can save the options that you selected as a favorite, and it's tied to your profile, and you can, load those options and run it as much as you want. But it's only for you. And we have found that we have so many admins are like, hey, my coworker has this report and I love it, but I can't log in as them. And so what we've done is we've said, hey, let's just create saved reports. And that way, if you guys have a way you like to run it, then you're welcome to save it as a report, give it a name, and anybody at your level has access to run that report, which is wonderful. And then we went one step further and said, let's go ahead and bring auto reports right under the same umbrella. And so your list of auto runs is listed out here as well. And I'm just going to show you what this looks like. Every report, every auto run will have its own name, who it's going to, what's the repeat frequency it's going out, when does it run next, and when did it last run. So just, again, very familiar to what you are used to seeing in your auto reports list if you have that now. And I'll get into the name in just a second. But I do want to kind of do a start to finish and show you how these three are related. And so we're going to start at completion status report, because this is the report most people are running all the time. And everybody has a favorite way of running this report. But what I hope you notice here is that there is a little bit of familiarity in terms of the questions you're answering in order to get your information. Who and what? Who do I want to include, and what information do I want on my report? And because most people select all on these reports, we went ahead and just said, do you want to include everybody? And if yes, that's awesome. If no, we can go ahead and say, well, I really only need to have a particular department on my report. You still have the ability to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and hit all for this report. So you get to who to include and what to include. And then we're going to drop into the filters. Currently in V3, what you're used to seeing is report options. These are going to be those same questions, but I'm going to show you a little bit of the change that is coming in, and hopefully you enjoy this change. So first we're going to say, do we want, everything for all due dates? Sure, that sounds great. Beginning of year through end of year, no longer having to put in specific dates for everything. Because you get to save this report, we would want that to carry over year. If you want this to go through today, we can pick report date, and whenever you generate it, it'll always include that information on the report, which is wonderful. You still do have the option to set your own, right? We want to make sure that you have that. If you're looking at a very specific date range, you're going to still have that within the report. So I'm going to go ahead and pick through end of year right here. One of the other changes that is coming through is the test taken range. Right now, if you want to run your current general compliance report, you do need to set those two sets of date ranges. One of the changes is we're going to give you the ability to automatically get your results based on the time frames you determined within your schedule. So if you have a schedule that's due in May and it will start showing at January 1 and it ends showing in June, we're going to automatically look in those dates for the exam that correlates to that schedule. You no longer have to always put in a set of date ranges. Now, if you do need to look outside that date frame, we're going to go ahead and give that to you, and you can always select that. But we really do hope that this helps streamline how you're grabbing information out of eSafety. Another thing I hope you've noticed is that you did not have to come in and select all these items. I know currently in your report, you have to click all these things every single time. Right now, we're going to go ahead and set your defaults on the template. And then if you do always make one change, if you're always doing this, we could save that as a saved report for you. We'll get there in just a second again. So I'm going to go ahead and run it with current schedules. I want to see everything, and I want this by user and then course. And I'm just going to go ahead and generate my report. And you're going to notice this looks very similar. I did year to date, or I did full year, so I'm now looking through the end of the year. But you'll notice I have a summary at the top. We always were told, oh, I got to scroll to the bottom to get my totals. Well, now you have the option to get your totals on the top of the report. If that's how you want to look at it, you will still get to expand any of those gray headers, and we're going to give you the information regarding that. And you actually get a little bit of wiggle room, and you can select certain things that you want to see within here, which is really fun. So this is your completion status report. This should look very familiar in terms of the information you're seeing to your general compliance report, which is really, really cool. Now let's say, hey, I run this every day. I love that. Now I can go ahead and take this, and we can say, save this report right here, how I ran this as Mac Skills Daily Report. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now I've created a saved report. If I go back to my reports list and I run right here, we're going to go ahead and see that that report was saved right here, and I can generate it anytime, exactly how I had it set up, just by hitting that button, which is super, super fun. I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and open that report back up. Again, I didn't have to get out of it. You'll notice that it kept me there originally. And I can create an auto run from directly within the report. I don't have to get out of the report. I really like the information here. I can go ahead and say, now let's go ahead and send this to my team on a regular basis, or hey, I would like this information sent to me daily. And I'm going to give it a name, and I'm just going to call it auto run for the moment. And I want this to come daily to my email. So there's a little bit of a change. We're giving you a daily frequency. I want that to start tomorrow, and I'd like to send this to myself. You'll notice that you can now pick from the users within the system. Anybody who has an email address in their eSafety profile will pop up in this list for you to be able to do that. You still do have the ability to add your own email addresses in case they do not have a user profile in the system. You still have the ability to give it a custom message. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And one thing you'll notice here is I can choose how I want to get this. Do I want a PDF? Do I want a CSV export or an Excel file? Do I want to see summary or full detail, which I love? And so I'm going to go ahead and just hit save. And now I've set up my auto run, and I am getting that every day exactly how I wanted it. So we really did try to bring all of these areas together and streamline them for you. We know that having to go to different areas to set something up is not the easiest. So you could change this base report. So the saved reports are kind of like a base report. You could make a change to this, and all the auto runs that are attached to it are going to automatically update the next time that runs to show that new information, which is really, really cool. You'll also notice that you can have a single report that has multiple auto runs. So you could have a single company-wide report if you want to control the information and set up an auto run for each department or each supervisor, and they would only get their information on the report, but you know that everybody has the exact same base report that we're running off of. So we will give you that indication that these are your saved reports. This one has 2 auto runs. This one does not have an auto run. One other thing that you can do if you're you might have a really long list of saved reports, and that's okay. You can favorite your saved reports and it'll always come to the top, or you can filter your list by your saved reports. And you do that just by hitting the little star, and we'll call that a favorite for you. And so that report would always list at the top of your list. One other thing when we're talking about the reports area is our auto run calendar. So very similar to the schedule calendar, we wanted to give you indication that you've got reports going out. Now I just created a daily report. So now I see that there's a dot on every day, but I could go ahead and click Friday, and I'm going to see the 3 reports that are running on Friday, and I could go right into those. So, which is really, really fun.
That is awesome. I'm going to recap a little bit then, because there's a lot that happens in the reporting area. So one reminder, any of your current active auto reports are going to be brought over to V4. We're always going to bring everything with us and make sure that you have everything. So all of those will still be intact. They're going to be here in this area. We also wanted more visibility for you and your team. So again, like Jen was saying, you're going to be able to create this report, and it's going to be for all of the admins at that level. So you're going to be able to share that information and make sure it's visible again to everybody who needs it. And then this also gives us a lot of room to grow and bring you really great reports in the future. They're really fast as well, really fast. So we know that's going to be a really great thing for all of our admins who run bigger reports. And again, you can download them as a spreadsheet. So we know this checks off a lot of boxes for people who were looking for improvements from the reporting area. And we're very, very happy to see this all make it into one section, and again, just streamline the process for you. So with that, I am going to bring us back over and share my screen. And of course, it's going to bring that over. There we go. Just to end today, wanted to first just wrap up and say, We really do hope you enjoyed this quick look at your users and admin dashboards, the schedules area, the reports area. Again, these are the major areas that we know you use on a day-to-day basis. Our goal is to enhance your user experience and these features while bringing you the same great system that's easy to use and easy to administer. We also hope you join us for the next session. So please, if you're able to, we want you to come next week on Tuesday, and we're going to go over a lot of new features. So think expiration tracking, new ways to add content, content bundles, user tagging. There is so much. So we're going to try to pick out a few of the big ones that we know you could get jump started on really quick with the new system. So as always, if you have any questions about what you saw today, the password update, or anything else, please reach out to your eSafety rep. And we cannot thank you enough. We love working with you, and we're very excited to bring this upgrade your way. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next week.